What is the stop and frisk rule? If you're curious as to the answer, then stay tuned because I'm here to break it down for you. Let's get into it. My name is Jamahl C and I'm a criminal defense attorney in San Diego, California. And in this video, I'm discussing the stop and frisk rule. In 1968, the United States Supreme Court held that police encounters known as stop and frisks do not violate a person's Fourth Amendment rights. Essentially, a police officer only has to have a reasonable suspicion of criminal behavior to detain a person and question them. This is the stop portion of stop and frisk. In the interest of officer safety, an officer can conduct a limited pat-down search for weapons, and this would be the frisk. The stop and frisk rule applies whether the person was contacted walking or driving a vehicle. As for the reasonable suspicion element, the law requires more than just a hunch. The officer must have objective grounds to suspect that a person is involved in criminal activity. For example, let's say an officer sees two guys at a park talking to each other. He has a hunch that they might be selling drugs, so he detains them and conducts a pat-down search. The officer finds a gun on one of these guys and arrests him. In this situation, the officer had no legal justification for the detention. A mere hunch does not justify detention. An officer must have articulable facts supporting a reasonable suspicion. In this situation, because the detention was improper, then the frisk that happened after the detention would also be considered improper. And so therefore the gun would be inadmissible in court. So if this guy were charged with illegal possession of a weapon, his attorney could file a motion to suppress evidence to get the gun thrown out. If successful, this would result in a dismissal of the case. Now you may be wondering, what is the difference between a search and a frisk? A search is more extensive. An officer conducting a search is permitted to really dig for any sort of illegal contraband or evidence, whereas a frisk only involves a cursory pat-down for weapons or other objects that an officer can tell from plain feel or contraband. Unfortunately, people of color have been unfairly subjected to stop and frisk searches. Officers do not have the right to detain and hassle people simply based on how they look, their ethnicity, or the neighborhood they live in. Again, the officer has to be able to point to objective circumstances showing a reasonable basis that the person is engaged in suspicious behavior in order to justify a stop and frisk. If you believe you've been unfairly subjected to a stop and frisk, you should definitely get the officer's information and file a complaint. If you're arrested and charged with a crime resulting from an illegal search and seizure, you should definitely let your attorney know so that the appropriate motions can be filed in court in order to get your case dismissed. Well, I hope you found this video informative. If you did, please show me some love and hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and make sure you turn on notifications so you never miss a new video when it drops. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.